That's fine. Okay.
See how we go.
See how we go. Grade 4, all over. Welcome to Carl's Hairdressing Salon. We could call it Carl's Cuts. Welcome to Carl's Cuts. But just like every professional hairdresser, we're going to be talking. Hey, comfy.
Carl's Cuts, the cropper of the century, yeah.
You're the one that's about to come a cropper. Right, okay. I'm going to start at the sides and so on.
Wherever.
And then just work my way through.
Wherever.
Okay.
I know it's not laying so bad at the moment, but especially if it's a little bit shorter, I think.
Just keeps it tidy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I am glad to see you in better fettle this week.
Oh yeah, well it's made a big difference since I went on steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I know I'm going to lose out in the long run, but I'm fighting it all the time. Yeah. Keep trying to get my body tuned into chucking out the right stuff to fight it.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
It's just been a bit of a bug around it with you know, because I mean obviously on Tuesday when you're at the oncologist, when in turning around and saying, okay, we're not going ahead with chemotherapy at this moment.
Oh, that was a right kick in the teeth.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, but I can understand it, because I mean, the hell I went through before that,
Yeah.
I would never have dreamt of been getting so low where I was just saying, I don't know I can handle it, don't know I can manage this anymore. And if somebody had just said, hey, are you having trouble sleeping, Alec? Would you like me to give you a pill to help? I would have said yes. I know if I never woke up, well, that would have been it.
Yeah,
I was so low. I can't describe it properly.
I know, it was devastating to watch, to be honest with you. I mean, last weekend, really, for both Jeanette and I.
With the fall.
With the fall, with what happened with Mum, you know what I mean, with you going to hospital. It was just a weekend from hell.
It was, wasn't it?
And it was a weekend from hell from you because you felt helpless because of what was happening with Mum as well.
After that bleeding fall, I thought, oh Christ, that's knackered the contract. I did.
Yeah.
Because if I fractured my bloody femur, I'm in shit street. Really.
Yeah.
But anyways, luck would have it. Then of course, it wanted to refer me to the orthopaedic team and keep me in hospital, did the doctor.
Yeah.
But of course I said, I've got my family at home and I've got a few walking aids, they'll help me. Because his radiologist says, well, I can see arthritis in there, but I can't see anything else.
Yeah.
So that was a relief.
Yeah. Yeah, because we all thought the cancer had started to invade your groin area, hadn't we?
Yeah, and then so he came and saw me, and I said, if I can go home, I'd like to. If it's not fractured, I may as well be at home.
Yeah.
So he sent a couple of nurses in to see how I could walk. When he saw that bed was at the back wall, I swung up there, and there was that dressings trolley nearby.
Yeah.
And I stood up and held of that. With the most extreme difficulty, I did 2 or 3 steps to the wall, then back up to the bed. 2 or 3 steps to the wall again, and back up to the bed.
Yeah.
And they went and said, yes, he'll be alright, he'll be able to do it. So, he says, alright, he says, I'm not happy, but if that's the way it is.
Yeah.
I says, will the ambulance come and take me home? And he was humming an hour and a bit. I said, well, it doesn't matter. I says, if my family can come and pick me up in this room, they'll pick me up because I have a wheelchair, we have everything we need.
Yeah.
So he says, yes, they can come and pick you up in this room.
Yeah.
So I says, well, I'd like to go home then, please. And that was it.
And so we did.
And of course, you know what it was like when I come home.
Oh, yeah, trying to get you up the stairs was bad enough.
Oh, having to lift my leg with my hand.
Yeah. Right, coming onto this side, okay?
Yeah.
Just to give you a heads up.
How much more have I got to go through, you know?
Yeah.
Whew. See if we aren't going through enough.
Yeah, it was utterly
Devastating.
It was a dreadful weekend.
Bloody hell. But anyway, hopefully we're coming a bit on the bright side now.
Well, as I say, you're definitely in better fettle.
Oh, I'm definitely better. Yeah.
In terms of...
I'm enjoying my food a bit better. I'm getting my palate back.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat big meals, just a little bit here and often. I know I've lost a lot of weight, but I mean, I haven't had so much junk and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I haven't been eating big meals, so it's bound to have gone off a bit, which I am pleased about to a certain extent, because I was too bloody fat. I was a fat bastard. And
but you've lost about 1.25 stone, stone.
Yeah, I think how much it was, yeah. And of course my trousers and things are fitting me better.
They're falling off, yeah?
I know, well that's good. I've got plenty of trousers that'll fit me. And of course my shirts are all getting tight, but they're all fitting me now.
For all the wrong reasons, that's
it's for the wrong reasons, yes.
You know.
But it must be helping if I'm carrying a bit less weight to cope with.
That can't be a bad thing, yeah.
It can't be a bad thing, because there's less strain on my joints, less strain on my breathing.
Yeah.
I'm saying to you, I don't know if I said it to you, but I don't want big meals anymore, because even before all this started, if I did eat too much, it made me a bit short of breath, you know, because it would be my stomach pressing on my lungs.
Yeah.
So I've got to control that. I'm quite happy not having so much sweet stuff, or any sweet stuff really. What sweet stuff we have now? We've had a few sweeties.
Yeah. You've never had a sweet palate though, so, you know, you've never had a...
Oh, I used to love sweet stuff. I controlled it.
Right.
I could eat sweet stuff from getting up and going to bed.
Oh, that's where I got it from then.
You must probably. And your mum.
And mum, yeah.
Yeah. But chocolate, I haven't enjoyed chocolate.
Right.
And you know what I was like with chocolate?
Yeah, put a bar
I had to control myself.
You
Don't matter how big the bar was, I used to sit and eat it. Yeah.
So this week, oncologist turns round and says, we're holding back on the chemo.
Yeah.
Because you were pretty much a broken bloke, really, weren't you?
Yeah, it says we didn't realise how badly you would be affected, because we rung up Castle a few times and tell.
Yeah.
Because if there's anything, doesn't matter if it's irrelevant, just ring up and tell us.
Yeah.
And then we know what's happening. And he said, with a number of phone calls you had, one thing that's gone on, one thing and another. He says, I've decided not to put you through any more of that, and I'm going to give you on steroids to try and build you up again.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what you're like in 3 weeks' time.
Yeah.
So that really was another kick in the teeth. Because as I straight away said to him, says, right, this thing's still growing inside me then, isn't it? Well, it is, naturally. But anyway...
Well, like you said though, the girl at the beginning...
Pardon?
The girl at the beginning was always quality of life.
Yeah.
Because it's in 3 areas.
Yeah.
And they can't treat it all.
No. And this is what he says. He says, if you remember when you first came, he says, I want to give you a quality of life.
Yeah.
So which is fair enough, yeah.
And you definitely haven't had that for 3 weeks.
Oh, bloody hell, no.
Shit.
I was in the depths. I was in the depth of despair and everything.
It really concerned me, Dad, because because all I could hear was what he'd said, which was, I don't think he'll last a year. You know what I mean? We were 3 months in, right, into that. So that's 3 months out of that year gone. And then another month of dreadful chemo, that what happened, you know, leading up to last week, was just a nightmare. And I just thought, what's the point of going through this if you just don't have any, if you have another 6 months of stuff, to have 3 to 6 months of maybe better.
Oh, purgatory.
And it was just, yes.
But before that,
it was horrible.
There was, what's that done for on the floor? All the discomfort of the radiotherapy. And wearing that bloody mask and everything.
Yeah.
That was awful, being strapped down.
Yeah.
And I used to really struggle to control myself.
Yeah.
Really did. Then of course this one on my arm, it doesn't seem to have done any good on that one.
It doesn't seem to have touched it, does it?
No, it doesn't seem to have done. And then of course with having that busted knuckle, arthritis must be setting in. Because I can't clench me properly. That Fenbid, that cream, it's doing wonders.
Right.
But this bloody thing works up and down with the arthritis, I think, and they're working with one another to make me comfortable.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like bloody toothache up and down my arm at times, but that Fenbid does ease it.
Right,
does make it better.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, you're all right.
I know the other thing that's been really helpful over the past few weeks, and this is where Jeanette's come into her own really in terms of working with you, is managing the pain. You know, the pain management's got a lot better, hasn't it? And what has really pleased me, and I know me and you had a few cross words a little while ago about you not following the pain management.
Well, I know, you bounce right.
Because it was there to sort of like take stress off your system, and you were just...
Yeah,
But now, you know, you're actually all on board with that. I'm just going to put you to one side.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're all tired of that brush where what's the point of taking it if it's not hurting? Wait till it hurts and then I'll take something.
Yeah. But this isn't about that.
It isn't about that, it's keeping it down, stopping it starting.
Yes, yeah.
So I did, once I got started getting improvement, I said, right, that's it.
Yeah.
Slightest twinge in fodder in future, we'll have a dose.
Yeah.
And it's because it's paid off. Oh no, I'm on the strong stuff.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. Because I mean, there's always this fear as well of being on strong opioids about becoming addicted, but fucking hell, what's the bloody point in worrying at my age?
Yes.
But these are the things you go through.
Yeah.
Because I've been lucky to get so far up to now.
Yeah. You've had a bloody good run.
So, well, there's lots of people, I'm just fortunate, and there's lots of people have a life of purgatory.
Yeah.
Pain and purgatory. Look how long your mum suffered.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so that's all that out. So I need to ask you a question, because Ainsley's asked me to ask you a question, right? Because it was one, Ainsley's dad passed a few years ago, and he said it's a question he wished he'd asked his dad, right? So he said he's asked me if I'd ask you, which is and it's nothing to do with the cancer or anything like that, it's something completely different and a bit more light-hearted, if you like. So what he wants to know is, what are the main differences you've noticed between sort of like, well, let me just find his exact words so that I've got it right. Let me just pop that off a second. Thank God for messages. Oops, wrong one. Just need to... Any chance you could ask your dad what changes he has seen of the world since his younger days? It's something I was always going to ask my dad, but never got chance. So what changes have you seen since your younger days? And I know it's going to be big.
It's unlimited.
What stands out the most, do you think? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
Well, the things that stands out the most is the speed things are moving, the changes are coming so fast. You're just getting used to one and it's changing again. It's confusing with all the technology.
Right.
Because as you're getting older, you find it harder to cope with it and learn it and understand it and retain it. Children, they grow up, they're having this technology as their toys now, so it's just part of their life. And they're not frightened of pressing buttons and doing anything. But as you get old, you think, well, if I press that button, am I going to do something? You're frightened of breaking it if you're pressing the wrong bloody buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it takes a bit of getting used to. Gets a bit of getting used to understanding the language at times.
Yeah.
The terminology. When we was little or younger, even up until, well, when the computer started coming in, that's when life started speeding up.
Yeah.
Up until it was a more leisurely pace of life. There was the traumas, there was the worries, and there was the upsets. But it was a more peaceful calm of life. But now, it's all stress. Oh, you've got to do this. You can't even have a bloody fart without being able to use a computer nowadays. Well, it's a bloody fact, and if you can't use a computer, you've had it.
Yeah.
Even in the most basic form. So, we've had to learn to adapt. The older you get, the harder it is, but you've got to keep struggling to do it. You get very frustrated, which I've in the past. I felt like chucking things in the bloody bin and all sorts. But it's you'll get frustrations at times.
Oh yeah, totally, yeah.
But no, once I get going with it, I'm all right.
You are, yeah.
It's just I get frustrated. But no, big changes of the speed life and the lack of community spirit.
Right, okay.
And this started in the 80s with the bloody Thatcher. She killed all community spirit. She created a system of dog eat dog. If you've got it, you're all right, and if you can get it, you're all right. But if you have not, you may as well go down the bloody sewer. And that's the attitude today with the Conservatives, I think. People like Boris, because they're only talking from the points of view of haves. They don't know what it's like to be a have-not.
Right.
Cameron and all these public school boys that were running the government, there shouldn't be such a thing as career politicians, because all they're doing is doing all their learning in bloody classrooms. And a lot of them are born with silver spoons in the mouth, born to millionaires lifestyle, all private education at top public schools. They've no experience of life, even if they go out into the world. They've still no experience because they've got money to pay for everything they want to do. Whereas if, like you or people like our lot, go to university, you've got to work to help pay your way through it. You haven't got daddy at the end of your course to pay what money you've owed. You haven't got daddy to give you pocket money to help you through your course, so you've got some spending money. So it literally is haves and have-nots.
Yeah.
I know to have you've got to work, but we have bred a society of people that have got so used to living on the stage that a lot of them won't work. So to my way of thinking, the benefits are too big. If you can get more for not working than you can for working, then there's something wrong with the system.
You've set him off now, Haynes.
Well, there's people who, unfortunately from their point of view, couldn't help it, had to start living on the welfare state when the welfare state came into being. But they bred families now that for generations have never worked. The whole family's living on the state. And a lot of them are better off than people who are working. And that's why I've always said it. Nobody on benefits should be better off than anybody that's working. Because if you're working, even the lowest paid, you pay bloody tax, you have to pay full pot for everything. Yet you're on benefits and you get everything for free. And that's wrong. Because it's breeding idleness.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, when we was younger, if you was out of work, you went to the bloody dole office to sign on. And if you was, no matter what the job was, they gave you a green card to go to this job. And if you didn't go, you lost your dole.
Yeah.
And if you never come back with a green card signed by the people who you were supposed to see, you lost your dole. In winter, in bad weather, especially when there was a lot of snow about, people on the dole used to go and do a day's snow shoveling. And for that, they got a decent day's pay at that time.
Yeah.
They got more for them being on the dole. So a lot of them went, a lot were happy to go and do something.
Yeah.
You still get a lot that are quite prepared to sit at home and do now.
Yeah.
In some ways, it is good, but it wants to get back to where everybody can have a fair crack of the way. I was just reading on the Apple News, James Dyson, you know, this bloody billionaire thing. He wanted to get out of the country and get away from the system and go to Singapore. Yet because he's a bloody rich farmer, he's had millions out of the European farm pocket.
Right.
Yeah, pure greed. I mean, he's the richest man in England, a multi-billionaire. Yet they're still getting paid these subsidies. If they're making money like that, they shouldn't be able to claim all these bloody subsidies. Because regardless of the outcome of production or anything, they're making money, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, thanks for that, Haynes. That really set him off, didn't it? I couldn't even get a word in.
That's what you wanted, Haynes, wasn't it? You wanted a bit of a wind-up moment.
Well, the good thing is, at least we've got your hair tidied up.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting better at this, because I've got this really nicely shaped at the back now.
Oh, good. It'll just start up Carl's hair cutting business.
Carl's clips. Carl's
yeah,
clippers.
Carl's clips.
Right, okay, if you want to shake that.
Because when I'm doing this art, it's time to have a go at my feet and clip my toenails and everything. I have some real strong 40 grit sandpaper downstairs, and I put my foot over a newspaper and rub all that skin off with that bloody stuff.
Right.
And buy it is good. It's done half shift it. Well, why spend pounds on these bloody skin removers like a pedeg and all that crap when I needed some good sandpaper?
I don't know whether to leave this in the clip or not.
Leave what?
Well, the camera's still rolling.
That's all right.
I don't know whether to leave this in or not yet.
Yeah, that's all right. And it's, of course, as you know, wearing sandals and things, and you're not wearing socks, so your feet aren't sweating.